Hello guys, it's me, Yoshi, and welcome back to my 100% playthrough of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch. In the last episode, we left off about to enter Dungeon 5, but you see that we've spawned in a new area. That's right, I actually finally figured out how to get to the world of color, and the one thing that I missed is it actually involves these southeastern gravestones, not any other ones. That was one of the mistakes I made. So anyways, I have a guide ready now on my phone because I'm getting tired of this. So anyways, if you push these gravestones in this very specific order without an ally, which I do not have, this means no Marin or Bow Wow either, or Cuckoo for the same reason, you reveal a secret passage, and you get into this area called the Color Dungeon. This is a Color Dungeon, and we're the Color Guard. You'll need magic power to get anywhere in here. Say the word, I'll sell you some. Yeah, so yeah, just as they said, you need color powder to get anywhere in this dungeon, and the mechanic of this dungeon is essentially, you have to turn all these blocks to blue in some of the rooms, and if you do that, you can find items slowly. Just like before, we're going to be getting all of the items here, so we'll try our best to get all of them. This is a little bit late for actually getting all the items, but it's still a little bit crazy. Now, I learned from something else that you still need a little bit more rupees for something else. There is one item left in the shop that we haven't gotten yet, which is about 1,000 rupees or so. Okay, I'm so used to having the big sword that I completely forgot about that. So, this is the Color Dungeon. It's essentially kind of a mixed dungeon, but with some other stuff alongside with it. So, yeah, that is kind of a problem that we have to deal with. So, just for starters, we're going to explore the first part of the dungeon as much as we can. These slimers kind of remind me of a different game that I haven't been able to kind of think of, but they look exactly like that enemy from another game. Of course, it's been so long that I've completely forgotten about them. So anyways, we go for all that just to find a small key to continue on further into the dungeon. And from at least what I found out, you have to go all the way to top right at some point to get through this one. Or at least for one of the secrets. And now we face this Gollum Boss. What a greedy fool. You want more power? If a fool like you may as well give up and go home. This guy can be taken out using either the bow and arrows or other stuff. I just remembered that I do not have much bow and arrows, so we'll have to take him out the normal way. Standing in this area and just slashing repeatedly until he dies, just like every other boss before him. He also summons some stones periodically as he attacks. He's kind of annoying, but the safest way to beat him is to just use arrows for the distance, but this will work as well. Just like all the others, he drops a fairy immediately after we kill him, so we could use that to get some heart recovery back. This is kind of a weird room, as you can see. The maze kind of just try and go off all the different stuff. Okay, now for this one. This one's kind of a little bit tricky if I remember correctly. Last time I did this room, I set it up like this so that all the reds were like that, and then did that, and that opens the door. And I mostly wanted to do that to get the puzzle out of the way, but then I soon remembered, oh yeah, that's right. We can't go into here. So now we have to go upward, if the game will let me go up. This is why I hate flying enemies so much. They always hit me off every single time. The only way you can really test them is this strategy I'm about to show you here. You jump and slash into midair, and that's kind of difficult to do consistently. I was so quick with this, by the way. I did not pay attention to whether or not this has an item or not. Okay, it did. Good thing I did that. Anyways, we're gonna get this chest for our map. We just traded in for our map, and now we can see exactly where we're going. Okay, that was quick. We just knocked 2 of them into that area. I've never actually seen that happen before. Usually I have to pick them up one by one and do that, but those 2 I kind of just knocked in. And in case you didn't know, in case this game didn't already reference Legend of Zelda 1, well, there you go. This game has a remix of the original Legend of Zelda theme. The dungeon theme specifically, which I think is really cool. Okay, for this next part, we're literally just going to keep on going up until we get to a secret area here, and we can get this chest pretty easy by just changing them all to the same color in a way where you can change them all at once. So these guys to get out later, and then we are gonna go into our second mini boss. Yeah, there's 2 mini bosses, and this boss says that his sword is OS for us, but we actually have a way of defeating him. It's actually a mix of stuff. We have to use magic powder to do his other stuff. And then we use the magic powder to change it back into a slime. Obviously, because of his mechanic, I feel like spin sashes are the best, but I'm not really able to do that right now. And then from here, we kind of got a block pattern that kind of resembles something that may be of the Legend of Zelda. I remember this partly from Link to the Past. Push 2 blocks to the left, then middle one out of the way, and you get the Nightmare Key. And that's basically the entire dungeon. It's actually pretty straightforward compared to the other stuff. Because it was made as a secret dungeon, they decided not to add some of the weird mechanics in from this game, so they made it more like the original game, which I think I like. That also surprisingly makes it one of the easier dungeons to do. Of course, this dungeon does have varying levels of difficulty. If you do it really early, it becomes a challenge. If you do it late, then it's very easy. And I believe you're supposed to use magic powder on almost all the enemies to kill them. Because when they say you won't get far without magic powder, they are mentioning that boss on the left side. You can't go through them without doing that. Okay, so that being said, let's head to the full left. And from here, we have quite a couple of things we could do. Because I don't have a lot of arrows, we're just going to do that instead. Okay, this guy's a little annoying. He regenerates health over time if you don't deal enough damage to him. This is safe. I'm safe, he says. You have to use the to fly up and hit him. So that's what we're doing, essentially. It's just spamming jump and hitting him. Step back, take your time, he says. But we don't take our time. We just go for him. This is one of the bosses you kind of just want to rush down, because if you take too long, he'll waste a lot of time. First time I defeated him, I got stuck a little bit on the final hit, but we got through it that time. Well, Kiyoshi, I admire you for covering this fire. I'll grant you the power of cover. If you want offense, choose red. If you want defense, choose blue. If there's one thing I found out, this game's a little too easy to not need defense, unless you're playing in hard mode. So I'm going to tell you right now, so what she mentioned is true. This meal will give you, you'll take half as much damage. This is most useful for hero mode, so if you're playing in hero mode, the harder mode of the game, you want this as early as possible so that you can normalize the difficulty of the game. For this version, however, we're going to take the red mail, which doubles our attack power. So, we activate this, and the Fairy Queen's going to change our tunic from green to red. And now all my attacks from now on will do double damage, which is pretty important, actually. So yeah, I think that's really cool. While I could do a specific setup to get a couple of other things, I found out as well that I will need another item to go any further, so with that in mind, we're going to actually go back to our thing now that we've gotten this. I just wanted to get this out of the way so I didn't have to remember that later. And, of course, by getting the red mail, our damage is doubled, so the next boss becomes a lot easier because of that. So with that in mind, let's head back to the Bay Area that we were going to do before, but we chose not to do because of other stuff. So, I said that I had already played the same, sort of. I've watched playthroughs of the original game, and I saw my other family members play a little bit of this, so it's technically wasn't a blind playthrough in that regard. So I decided to practice this time, and I did a run where I got all the way to level 8, so that's really important. So this is kind of an obnoxious dungeon, I've learned. Because all of the pathway to get to it is pretty extreme and also pretty annoying. And yes, there's an empty chest just kind of sitting there. Oh wait, oh yeah, that's right, because I think I actually played through a while of this before. I don't know. I initially thought I didn't play this, but I guess I must have played it a little bit the last time. Anyways, we have to go here to get to the next part, no matter what. With the red mail, this is a lot easier to do, because some of these enemies that normally die in 2 hits, die in 1 hit with the red mail. And then after this trick, I'll be able to do a little bit of gameplay to get 2 of some of the most important items in the entire game. By the way, we had to walk through this entire room just to obtain the key. The other room is worthless. So, you'll probably see that numbered thing. That's kind of a weird mechanic that I'll show you later. Also, let's just skip this entire WAP with that, because I think that's cool. Okay. So, pretty linear path to take here in Catfish's Maw. Nothing really you can change. I forget whether or not I have to go up or right, so I'm just gonna go up first. Okay, well, yeah, this is correct, because you have to do the route based off of this boss alone. This is the Stalfos guy. And if you remember something, you'll quickly find out that this is exactly like the Stalfos from Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Link to the Past has this exact Stalfos fight. So if you remember the Stalfos from Link to the Past, you can't defeat them with any normal things. First you have to hit them once to stun them, then you use bombs on them to actually damage them. So by doing that 3 times, you can do that, and he can't beat us, so he's out of here. So, yeah. So this guy we're basically going to be chasing around more than the entire level. And here we get a message saying I've got your item, come and get it, Master Stalfos. Yes, that is the Stalfos guy that we have to fight. And from here, the rest of our route is basically just based on how quickly we're able to get through this part. We need to remember that spot in particular. That is a water spot that I have to remember once I acquire the Nightmare Key, because until we do that, we can't actually go through that spot. So we need to remember that for later. And just as I thought, this is a dead-end room. So it looks like we had to go for all that just to go to this right spot, just to go up. I believe the next spot we have to face him is to the right. So in case you're wondering what the numbers are for, we have to fight this guy 4 times, and then on the 4th time he finally gives us an item. You found me. You're a real pesky kid. Do you know that? Well, yeah, I think I do. Actually, you're the pesky one, really. Because if you're holding an item from me, it's kind of silly that you should be even holding it in the first place. Here he goes. Alright, I can't beat you. I'm out of here. Okay, so we got that done. Now we can actually go to part 3 where we're gonna go for the 4. Reason why I'm going up here now is because this is where we're going to find our stuff. You can see a lot of the game becomes a lot easier with the red mail because you just destroy things with it. Okay, now we have to do our stuff. I'm gonna pick this up. Now, Piece of Power does stack with other items, so this will double our damage even more. And from there, we are into the... Yeah. From here, he simply repeats the same phrase again. Let's see if this Piece of Power changes the fight. Probably not. Nope, still 3 hits. So it was a wasteful piece of power no matter what. I'm gonna stand here so I can get out of the room sooner though. I can't beat you, I'm out of here. Again. So now that 4th room that we remembered from before, we have to go back to that room to get other stuff. And we also have to take out these guys to open up the door. And also we finally get a map. Quite a long time to get the map in this dungeon, that's for sure. And I think we have to go down here to get back down. Now, regardless of where we go, our room set doesn't really matter because we have access to the 4th room. So all we're doing now is heading backwards through the other rooms we just cleared until we can get to the right. These shock guys get really annoying in some of the spots, or I forget what their actual name is. Well, we'll probably find it out later. But anyways... There is a spot on the right we could go to over there, but until we get the actual hook shot itself, we can't actually enter that because it wouldn't give us anything. I think because I remember doing that off screen, and the only item I was able to get is the hook shot, so I didn't really get anything from it. Also, I forgot that that's not the place to go. We have to go down the secret stairs. Keep in mind, the secret stairs we couldn't skip the first time. We literally had to do that entire thing to obtain the Saw Key, so you could already see how obnoxious this dungeon is. You have to go all the way down here to get to this. Then you do the entire puzzle again to get down there a second time, just so you can actually beat the boss that time. Okay. Now, for the final fight, he does change up a little bit, but other than that, he's basically the same fight as before. Okay, he doesn't even have a word anymore. He can randomly jump the second time in his final form, or at least that's what I've seen him do. But no. So really, he just increases his speed, and that's about it. Pretty quick fight. So by taking him out the 4th time, he finally gets defeated fully, and we get to rob him of his own item, the hook shot. And this is a very important speed item, so we're going to put it on right away, as this is going to be useful in many locations to get around the rooms very quickly. So, the hook shot is just like it is in Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past and some of the other things. Use it, and you can go to faraway spot really quickly. It's the other essential item for moving quickly in this game. And once you get it, your movement becomes really fast, in my opinion, which I like a lot. In some of the rooms, you can just go between one side of the room to the other half in like 1 minute. And again, we need to collect a lot of rupees. And also, I did notice something. So there's a secret thing I found out about, but there's apparently different endings to this game based off if you die or not. And that steel glitch that I mentioned that you do the other stuff, that is true. I actually just wasn't doing it correctly. But yeah, you can steal an item from this game's shop, and if you do that, he will actually kill you, and that counts as a death. So you can't actually do that if you want 100% or best ending. So if you want the best ending, you have to buy all the items manually if you want 100%. Thankfully, there's plenty of rupees scattered around, and there's another trick that I'll show you a little bit later. That'll make getting rupees a little bit easier, so you don't necessarily have to do that. Now, that doesn't necessarily make it the fastest strategy, though. There are still faster strategies that use the thing. Anyways, with the hook shot, we can go all the way to the far right, and from here, head to the far right, and pick up another key over here. The reason why I didn't do it is because I wanted to optimize around getting a hook shot as soon as possible, because until we get that, we can't even do anything over here anyways. Initially, I did this too. I was like, why do I keep getting hit? I was like, yeah, that room actually kind of requires the hook shot. It's a thing that most people don't forget. And also, here's a little cool tech I'm going to show you. Press X, head right, and use the magic power on this thing, and you can turn that anti-fairy, in this case, is its name, into a actual fairy, which you can collect to put in a bottle, which is a really nice strategy for safety if you need to deal with it. Anyways, we're going to use this to go into this area. I initially thought you needed the bow and arrow for this fight, but you don't. You just have to wait for them to open their eyes, then you stun them and hit them. You can either lunge at one of them or you stun them. That being said, it is still a very long fight. So you essentially have to stun one of them and hit them multiple times as much as you can. And that's the idea. And there's a specific pattern you want to look for when taking them out, because, yeah. And you can see there's a little bit of a tell to them. If they move to the far right, if they don't do their thing, they're going to lunge at you. If they do that sound, which you just heard there, they're going to spit your eye, and there are two ways to kill them. You can either do the slow strategy where you use bow and arrows, just like you do in original Legend of Zelda for NES, or this game, for some reason, allows you to use your sword. But kind of a combo. You have to use two things to ultimately get rid of them. And from there, we go into this secret where the only way through is, again, using our hook shot. So we use that to go up here, and then we head for the entirety of that, and this is where we kind of get stuck into a loop. To continue any further, we need the key from the leftward area and another spot from the rightward area, which I completely forgot of what to do. So we're going to have to remember this for later. And this is where my problems started getting very confusing, because remember, we needed an item to get further, but we also needed a key to get to some other stuff. So, yeah. So, when I did this in my practice run, I got stuck on the nightmare key for so long. It was absolutely ridiculous. And obviously, since I'm trying to make this playthrough as good as possible, if I had taken something like that, it'd probably been really stupid. So anyways, before we do something of that nonsense again, we're just going to play it safe and quickly head up to the right to attain these first chests on the right. And then for the last one, we have to go back into the water room that we skipped from earlier. And that will give us our nightmare key. But I believe we need another key first. So I'm going to head here just so that we get it done. One of the staircases I'm skipping, that is for one of the keys. And also kind of, I think, just takes you into Pathetic Zone. Because the last time I remember going into there, that I can't really do anything there. But yeah. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Feels nice being able to kill each of these enemies in one hit. Oh, by the way, you're not supposed to come to that room from that way. You're supposed to come from it from the different way that I completely forgot about. Whoops. Well, in that case, we should probably go that way first before we do any other problems. Oh yeah, that's right. We have to do this weird movement. This movement gets kind of interesting and also kind of weird when you throw the hook shot into a play, because now there's just so many options for movement. It gets really confusing sometimes. Okay, there's our key. Now we have to go back to the water room that we left earlier, and that will have our nightmare key. We could actually have gotten it at a different time, but because we have to go this long anyways, I figure it's better to just do that. And yeah. And then after this dungeon, we're probably not going to be doing a lot of stuff for a while, because most of the gameplay will be focused on getting the upgraded sword. Not the Master Sword this time, that's from a different game. This is one of the games that didn't properly name the Master Sword, so yeah. I forget where this leads. No, wait, that's the chap staircase I mentioned. Because I think one of those leads over to the far right, and that's where we don't need to go. Oh, speaking of which, I went the wrong way. It's a good thing I checked. Because I completely forgot that we're supposed to go this way first. You can see, this is very easy to miss if you're playing it as a playthrough. I missed this for at least a few minutes the first time I played. So, anyways, you press B here and you enter a secret area. And I guess I was lying. You don't need a key for this, but you do need your hook shot to get in here. So you can kind of do this in whatever order you want. I don't know. But regardless, you need the hook shot to get any of these items. So you have to go into here, use the hook shot to get this. We'll skip a little bit of that room using that. And there's our nightmare key. That eluded me for, like, the longest time, and it was really annoying. Good thing we don't have to deal with it. Oh, and yes, we get an underwater cave. And for the second part, we get to deal with a second underwater cave as well. Having to jump a lot just to get out of those spike fiends. Those are some of the most annoying enemies in the entire game there. You can also jump over those laser guys as well. That's... though, I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna go for this water room here to get to the second part, because technically it doesn't matter which one you go. Make sure not to do this until you have both the nightmare key and other stuff. And this takes us into a secret room we've not seen yet. Killing these guys, unfortunately, doesn't reward anything. We're then put into a chat room where you have to defeat more enemies, and from there, we'll reach literally the same room that we were just in before. Only this time, we can push the block out of the way, skip the staircase, and just do this to get to the boss. And from there, we're at the boss. That's it. And we will need the hook shot for this boss as well, so we need to remember to do it. Also, this is probably actually the worst boss in this game. He's random and really annoying. So you, the outsider, come to wake the windfish. I shall eat you. And he means that. He's literally gonna try to. Well, yeah, now we have this giant table in the middle of the room, and this guy comes out. The slime eel has come to play, and he's not happy about us. This is a very random boss. He will appear in one spot, and you basically have to use your hook shot to pull him as far as you can, and from there, you just slash and do other stuff. You don't seem to know what kind of island this is. Hee, what a fool. And yes, because we have the red mail, we can actually one-cycle this boss, so it's actually not that bad, but it's really hard to start because it's random where he comes out. So, the last time I defeated him, it was without any upgrades, and it took a very long time to defeat him. So, with that, we get our 5th item, instrument, the Wind Marimba. Nice. Now we probably won't be entering dungeons for quite a while because the next thing I want to do is get every single seashell in this game, and that takes a little while. So I'll be using a map as well on that to do other stuff. So it says Shrine. The island's secret in the shrine, huh? That's what we have to do? Now keep in mind, we already got one of the keys from earlier. Okay, we're gonna start by using this warp to... I guess to simplify it, we should go back to our starting area, maybe village, and head back through other stuff to get to the stuff here. And, yeah. Hang on. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. So, oh yeah, I kinda lied. I'm not actually gonna do that right now. First, I'm actually gonna complete the trading quest. So, for that, we're going to... Hang on. Oh! I forgot. Some of these are kind of weird. Oh, right, we have the fish hook. Oh yeah, that's the strange one. Okay, so for this one is actually kind of a nasty secret to get. Okay. Alright. Sorry. It's taking a little while to get set up here. I'll probably cut this out a little bit later, just to do other stuff. Okay, so this quest I'm now going to do from complete memory just to make things interesting. So we needed to do part of the Magnifying quest because without that, a certain NCP doesn't spawn, so we can't actually go through it. Beyond that, this last part of the trading sequence, which you see on the right, takes place entirely in Martha's Bay, meaning no port markers required, really. So anyways, dive under this bridge and into the right, and similar to Link to the Past, you'll find a secret area that you can go in here. And from there you can talk to this fisherman. You better let me have it. I'll give my next cast if you let me at it. Keep your eyes open and watch a pro at work. My, that's a big one. And we get a necklace from him. So yeah, the fishing up becomes a necklace, which is always really nice. And from there we exit the area to go back into our normal zone, and now we have to take the necklace to this mermaid in order to get the next spot here, and you'll see, yes, there's a thing there. That's my necklace! Give it back. I'll give you a scale, as I said. Promise, you'll only take one. How will you use this? So apparently we got the scale of a mermaid's tail now to deal with, which is kind of fun. But anyway, now we have to go back all the way up here. Okay. These enemies, by the way, I hate the most out of all the enemies, because they cannot be killed by your sword no matter what you do. And these ones are kind of annoying because they evade your attacks and other stuff. So, like, this entire area essentially has the most annoying enemies in the game. But before we do that, we need to start by getting this secret over here. Head to the left, go to the right, dig with a shovel here, and you get a Secret Seashell. We need 40 of these to get the sword that we're looking for, so we're going to be doing this for a little while. We're basically going to go on a linear tour around the entire world and basically do some stuff. And there goes that enemy literally getting in my way. Now you see how much I hate them. It could literally only be defeated with, like, other stuff. But anyways, head to this area. Put the missing scale in the mermaid statue. And bam, you enter a secret area from here. And if you go in here, you go all the way up to this area to find an actually useful item that you can keep. The Magnifying Lens. This will reveal many things you couldn't see before. This allows you to see invisible enemies as well as invisible other stuff. And those enemies you saw there, yeah, those were invisible. So that finally solves the problem of the I can't see that enemy thing the one time. And from there we can actually progress a little bit in Animal Village. So we'll start by going to the secret in Animal Village, and we'll also go back to another specific spot because I found a pretty nasty spot where one of the Secret Seashells is. So we're gonna go and get that as soon as possible. Anyway, that area unfortunately doesn't have anything right now, but we can go into here to get one secret, and from there we can talk to this guy. You got the letter to my dearest Mr. Wright. Bravo. I'm not kidding when I said this means a lot to me. I want you to have this seashell as a thanks. So yeah, you could just talk to this lady after finishing part of the side quest, and she gives you a secret seashell for free, which is nice. Okay, now for the final part, we actually get another secret cell. This is the last of the secret seashells you can get this way. So, now we find a hidden Zora here. You can see me. You must have a magnifying glass. I'm not a troublemaker. I just want to live in peace. I'll give you this if you promise to keep your mouth shut. So, just like that, we already got 2 secret seashells here. A promise is a promise, okay? Hey, you should head to the cave at Tyrannosaurus. Use the magnifying glass there and you might find someone else like me. So he gives you a hint as to where to find that secret dude guy, but we will get more than we bargained for as we're able to get some stuff. Also, before we do this, we need to have our shovel equipped as part of the second part of the side quest. And from there, we're gonna warp to the prairie again and then go all the way around again. I would try and go around a different way normally, but I believe most of the spots are completely blocked. Actually, you know what? Maybe I will do it. I don't know. And in case you didn't know, this red veil's already been helping out quite a bit. I like it. And I guess while we're here, we'll get another secret that I may have missed. Oh, wait. Of course, that means I have to search back to this first. And missed it the first time. Got it the second time, though. It's really annoying when that happens. Okay. In here, there's another secret I believe we can get that I'm not sure if we got or not. Okay, no, we already did get it. So, there was a secret seashell in one of those pots that we must have gotten from earlier. Now we have the secret seashell finder, we can find a lot of different secret seashells out here. Speaking of which, there's one all the way on the edge here, which is really fun. And again, we need 40 of these to claim our final item. So, before that though, we're gonna head to this area. And we'll see there's a mysterious guy here. I found a good item washed up on the star. I'll trade it for you what you have on your X or Y button. Goria is his name. If you want to trade, press X or Y, and if you don't, press B. Okay, let's do it. If you want the item you trade to me again, come back. And from there, you get a boomerang. Which, in this game, the boomerang is one of the more overpowered weapons in the game. It can actually kill enemies instead of just stunning it like it does in our stuff. And from there, 300 rupees, and we get our shovel back. So that's partly what we needed rupees for, and now we need other stuff as well. And that's the entire trade quest basically completed. So now we have one of the more overpowered items in the game, the boomerang, that could be used basically everywhere to do some stuff. But I think that's going to be it for a little bit. I just need to pause and check my thing. Okay guys, we're back. Sorry about that. I had to look at some stuff, but I finally got our map online. Except it immediately crashed. We had to reload, so it got confusing again. But anyways, all I was doing really was getting a map of all the Secret Seashell locations. Oh wait, no, it's this one. So we have to hit this tree here. Specifically this one. Or... no, wait, it's this one. And we get our Secret Seashell. And yes, this was not supposed to Ash. I have this thing open up on my iPad that I'm using to find all the Secret Seashells, and it immediately crashed the moment I started doing this, so that's not fun. As fun as it would be to use a boomerang, I kind of have to use other stuff first, so... So now back to what I actually wanted to do, which is a linear tour around the world. We're kind of just going to go around here, getting all the stuff here, until we find all the Secret Seashells. And yes, part of it does take us back into level 1, because we need one of the secrets in here to get that. So back into the Tail Cave we go. And inside here, to the very far left, would normally be where our Secret Seashell is. Actually, wait, no. Well, actually, it is close enough, but we need to go a little bit further. So, head up, and up right, and then over here. We can find a blow below we weren't able to blow up. Kind of annoying, eh? And guess what? That wall has the Secret Seashell chest that we missed from earlier. We couldn't get it until we got bombs, though. So from there, we, got ourselves another Secret Seashell, which is really cool. I initially was going to do this via save, but I decided to change this a little bit. I did check some of the locations of some of the other items, but other than that, yeah. And get ready, because we're going to be using that song a lot, because that's how we warp out of areas. Beyond that, we're basically going to go around a linear tour of the world and try and get as many pieces of the hearts as we can, and if we miss any from there, we're kind of just forced to do a regular thing. Anyways, for this next one, we need a shovel. We're going to head into here and pick up this item here. And we can dig around here to find our Secret Seashell somewhere in here. Kind of weird that a Secret Seashell would be hiding in here, but yeah. These Secret Seashells start to become very secret when you consider the fact that they're hiding in weird places like that. Okay, now for the rest of these, we actually have to do this minigame again, which you probably remember as the trendy game. We have to win quite a few prizes here, and this is probably where we're going to end up stopping, because there's only one item left here, and that's the Secret Seashell. There's actually a couple different strategies to do this. I actually seen someone who goes from right to left. I prefer to go this way. It's just my personal preference. I prefer to go up and then to the right, and you can see that, in case you didn't already know, this game is random. Because of the mechanics of the game, if you get unlucky, you can just have that happen for some reason. Because that's in such a bad location, I may have to straight up... I have to do another thing just to do something else. Oh no. I actually have to straight up, I think, fail the thing. So, as you can see, you can get unlucky on this game. Because they expect you to either be at a very precise spot or be just really good at the game. Because, yeah, if you're not, the crane game will randomly have items fall out. And because it fell out in probably the worst spot, we have to go through it again. Okay, we're going to do it as early as possible. Keep in mind, you have to do this kind of early to get it in the cradle properly. Okay, that time it actually got stuck like it should have been. Sometimes it does that, and it's kind of annoying. But anyway, we get our Secret Seashell from here. There are two Secret Seashells in this. We already got one of them, and that was the second one. So all the Secret Seashells are gone from Trendy Game. And the only other stuff you can get there is the figurines. You can actually start weaving figurines from there and putting them on display one by one. That's actually how you get the figurine quests done. But that will still take a while in its own regard, so I don't know. Anyways, let's to these thoughts. Is this a stand for something? It says Bow Wow. Okay, that's not right. It says CO. Okay, so we can place our figure here, which is nice. Okay, well, we have a thing that we could potentially do now. So yeah, my apologies if the aim might get a little bit slow for a while, but right now we're trying to get all the Secret Seashells, and it'll take quite a while to do it because for the next one we are going to do fishing for quite a while. Alright, so I've learned a couple of things with this. You want to press A to mash to pull in your line when the fish is not pulling against you. If you do that too much when he's pulling against you, you'll just break the line. So you have to actually let go of A for a few moments to get it to work. Okay. So for each of these, we have to get a fish that's at least 46 inches or higher. And we don't not have good RNG. As you can see, there's some random RNG to this. So all the fish have random RNG weights that they can do. And when you don't get the good RNG for us, the only way you can get back is to say nah, and then head back to the right. And then when you reload that thing, that will reload all of the fishes. And you need to do this until you get enough of them to get a big one enough to get, I believe, first a 35 inches record, then a 46-inch record, and then finally the big fish himself, the Baron, appears. Oh, we also have to catch a blooper in addition to other stuff. Well, we got kind of lucky. Our bloopers friend is already here. So we got our blooper. How's 55 rupees sound? Okay, we get our big rare. Alright, so we got our first Secret Seashell. Now to get the second one, we have to catch the Big Baron to finish off our Aerophane, and then we also have to get our Cheep Cheep. And from there, we're kind of just stuck waiting on the RNG to get to anywhere. There is an item we can also get there as well, but it's a bottle, and I don't think you can actually get it. I've tried to get it before, and I've never actually gotten it. Okay, so we have to clear out the fish, particularly at the bottom, in order to get the fish we want to spawn. So we have to wait for him to go to the right, and since we don't really need this, we can just mash and kind of show you what happens. Okay, well, actually, I just did it normally, because I need rupees still. So this is kind of an idea of how you're supposed to do this. Go back and forth until you can catch it. Okay, so we're gonna do this over and over again, and each time you catch a fish, that'll reload the RNG, and you need to do that until either you get the big one, or there will be one that actually looks like a cheap. We need both of those for the item that we want. Oh, there's a nibble. Sometimes they can nibble instead of actually biting. So yeah, unfortunately this is required for 100%, and it takes a random amount of time to complete this, so this can straight up kill your run if you're trying to go for a 100% speed run. Obnoxious, to say the least. We need Baron to finish off one part, and we need the other thing to finish something else. Baron only spawns at the top, so you have to get all the fish essentially cleared out as much as you can. Thankfully, the game's pretty kind with how to do fishing. It's only 10 rupees for a piss, and as long as you keep on catching a fish that's big enough, you can keep going no matter how long you take. Though, if you add more rupees, it's probably faster to just make them run away, so that you can get to your cheap sooner. Or catch one and then reload the entire area by doing other stuff. I'm kind of just doing this for as long as I can do it and wait for the Baron to appear, and from there we do other stuff. The Baron will be completely different than the other Charons. Okay, actually, there's this guy now. Double nibble. There we go. When the line sound of him pulling changes, that's a sign that you might have your line break. Also, the big Baron fish will be a little bit more difficult because he'll pull more often and also be random how much he pulls. Again, the only way to get him is to essentially just keep on catching these big fish on the bottom. And we do all that while waiting for the other fish to appear. If it's a weak one that you're already gonna lose rupees from, you probably will be better off just leaving it, but because this playthrough, I'm just gonna do this for a while. Okay, we're doing all this while we literally wait for the big fish to spawn, or the cheap. We need either of those, and those can only spawn after a certain point in the game. I forget if there is actually a limit to when they spawn, but beyond that, it's basically RNG, whether or not they appear or not. This can actually be done as much as early as the early game if you wanted to. Okay. Almost a miss there. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna have to show the strategy for some interesting stuff. So again, you can reload this as many times as you want. To do that, you have to go here and just say nav after each attempt, and that reloads the entire area. And you essentially have to do that until the fish you want appear. And this can take a long time to get. Well, this looks a little bit better this time. There's one big fish in here. And yeah, bigger fishes also tend to have a more annoying grip than usual. And you can see when you put stretch on the line, you basically have to let it go for a minute. Okay, we got it. That was almost too much, but we got it. Oh gosh. That's always the worst, when the little fish gets eye on it instead of the fish you want. You do want to stun it a little bit every once in a while, because if you don't, you won't move anywhere close to the right side. But if you don't put enough stress on the line, it might break later. So you have to kind of balance it out to get it right. Alright. Since it's probably going to take a little bit while before we do stuff, we're gonna end the episode right here, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.